Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters challenge. We have, excuse me, two no age statement blended Scotch whiskeys. Now, the first one was introduced in 2010, and I got some more of these small bottles, and then the price went way up after I bought them, so I got it the last chance for the low price. Okay. $2.99 for these sample bottles. 50 milliliters. But not no more. And I got the gold label reserve for the same price. And it's much. $2.99 times 15. $44.85. And that's the same price. So that's the same price as the regular size bottle. Okay, so I didn't really benefit from getting this. I could have just bought the big bottle, but I kept seeing these, so I bought them. All right. The gold label reserve, oh yes, $44.85. The normal price is like $54.85. Saved $10. And I basically bought 750 milliliters. I bought so many of these things. Produced under a royal warrant for King Charles. But I don't know if they can. I forgot to look that up. Does the royal warrant stay in place when they get a new monarch, or do they have to reapply? Seemed like a big hassle to have to reapply. But some of these bureaucracies, they want that because it gives them a reason to be around. When I used to work for the school system, they would say, we got to spend all this money before the end of the fiscal year, or they won't give us as much next year. I would say, well, you clearly don't need it. So they were like, think of something to spend it on. And I'm like, wow, that's really efficient, typical not-for-profit agency. Got it even. Well, mostly. They're the same shade, like an amber gold, so that's not going to be a problem. Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition, introduced in 2013, okay? So we got 2010 introduction, 2013 introduction. So they're pretty close. They came out around the same time. And somebody told me yesterday, you need a new camera. I said, I bought a new camera. Got it unpacked, hooked it up. Video clear. Visuals very clear, high definition, look nice. No audio. Tried everything, could not get the audio to work. I said, well, the other camera works, and it's low tech and old. This high tech new one doesn't work, and I think something's wrong with the camera. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, because usually when I hook up a device, it goes right up. So brought it back to Walmart, got my refund, and I was like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to use this camera here till it's just decrepit. It's already decrepit, until it no longer works. And anyway, most people just listen to these more than look at them because not much to see. Arvin Biz Talwan says, hi, Ron, cheers. Cheers to you. Question, do you think finishing Scotch in various types of barrels is nothing but indirectly mixing other types of liquors in the Scotch? It's not really mixing them because it's such a small amount. You're not going to really get liquid. It's a way, it's a tweak, you could call it, a treatment. Does it make a difference? It seems to, because when I did the Dewar's illegal mezcal treatment, aged in the mezcal barrels, it made a difference. Now, did they cheat and add a little mezcal to it just to make sure? I don't think that's allowed, so I doubt they cheated, but you never know, what goes on behind the scenes. But it doesn't, I don't think a company like Dewar's would pull something like that, because first of all, if they did get caught, it would be a disastrous public relations scandal, really. A lot of companies learned and are still learning their lesson from the Schlitz story of 1975, 75, 76, really 76. So, but it began to develop in 75. So they never recovered from that. When I tried the Chivas Regal Mitsunara oak, is clearly a different flavor. I don't know what it is about that Japanese oak, but it gave it a different flavor. So I don't think it's really mixing other liquors in. Now with Canadian whiskey, it is the case because they actually do blend in other liquors as flavorings and wine, up to 9%, about 9%. If they want to, they don't have to. They're allowed to. And some theory was that it was because the United States putting pressure on them to do that. Because I saw an advertisement in Jim Beam's Double Cut in that they showed that they squeeze out the bourbon. They squeeze out of the barrel. I don't know anything about Devil's Cut, except I know it's around. And that's just one product. You know, it's just a single product. I really don't know. I don't, on this channel, if I don't know, I'll just say I don't know. I'm not going to try to explain something I don't know what I'm talking about. And if I'm wrong, I'll just say I was wrong. Let me tell you what happened. I watch some channels where the people don't know what they're talking about. They just don't, and they're wrong. And I try to be diplomatic. I'm like, well, actually it's this, and they get hostile. Like, who are you? Screw off. It's like, wait a minute, don't you want to be accurate? Why you got to be so prideful? You're wrong. They're getting like, enraged almost because I gave them some information about bourbon whiskey. The people are like, well, bourbon whiskey has to be aged at least 4 years. And I was like, no, it doesn't. But I didn't say it in an ugly way. I try to be, it's hard to be diplomatic, and people read text wrong. You can't really give your tone of voice in a text. But I like, actually, bourbon doesn't have to be aged any particular amount of time. Now, straight bourbon is different. That's a different type of bourbon. That has to be aged at least 2 years and so forth. But a lot of times they don't take it right. And I don't get that. I take it fine but if the people approach, you got some negative people, they don't know how to speak to others. When you start off the comment with, you're so stupid. Well, that's probably not going to work out very well. Or where did you learn how to pour a beer? So you're setting the tone for trouble. You say, well, that's just the internet. It's poison. It's poison. No, it's not the internet. It's not social media. It's just how some people are in real life and in online. What they do online reflects their real life. This smells like the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition, meaning honey top, sour lee white bread, a strength to it, a boldness to it, and that's coming from the 100 proof to 50% alcohol. All right, so let's go with this one though. Okay, this is the Johnny Walker Double Black, and why do I say that? Because it's got the smokiness, the peatiness, smoke. Now it's not profound like the Finlagen that I did single malt, or the Ardbeg 10 single malt, which is just like a smoke bomb. It's subtle, but it's noticeable. It's not a trace amount of smoke. It's not like an infinitesimal amount. It's there. And in the taste, it's even stronger. Let's go with the taste at this very moment. Getting a little warm in this pullover. I was chilly without it, but now with it, it's kind of hot. Yeah, honey top white bread. And they do talk about honey on the website. Now, all these other descriptors they give, I'm not picking that up. Not saying they're lying. I'm saying I probably don't have the ability to pick it up. These companies talk about chocolate and raisins and black pepper and assorted pie spices. And I'm like, no, it just tastes like regular old whiskey, meaning cereal grains and that, but and wood barrel and all. But like I said, they're trained and I'm not. Well, in an amateuristic way, you know, and I'm trained in an amateuristic way. In other words, studying stuff on my own and experience through tasting so many times. But any kind of formal training, no. Now, am I jealous of people that have formal training, like this guy Darren, who does beer review? Darwin, I'm sorry, does beer reviews. Why would I be jealous? I'm not jealous. If he gets a certification, that's good. He seems to know what he's talking about when he does his reviews. So he's always pleasant to me when I make comments, unlike some other beer reviewer who I won't name, who seems like his channel method is to be hostile with commenters. It's like, well, the people are making comments on your channel, so how does that benefit your channel by, you know, returning their comment with an ugly, flip, sarcastic comment or response? So I don't know, that's a unique way to build a channel, hostility towards the viewers. But he's a little different. Okay, knowledgeable, but, you know, just, I don't know, insecure. You say he's arrogant. He's arrogant. Yes, but I think it comes from insecurity, like someone like paranoia or something. You say, you mean a defense mechanism? In some ways, yes, I think that is true. I'm not saying it's some big psychological construct. It's just some people's personality is that way, just off-putting personality, not friendly. Which can be corrected in a way. Your overall personality is not going to be changed. Like Hans Eysenck studied that. He came up with the 4-modal system of personality. And I think he says based on genetics. It's not, well, you were trained to be that way. You say no. Hans Eysenck say no. You're born that way, and you're going to either be an introvert or an extrovert, and you're going to be stable or unstable. And you got four factors, the 4-factor model of personality. And you can have a combination, you know, how that works. He was a German scientist. And he died a few years ago, not long ago. But he's like on cancel culture now. People say, oh, you can't talk about him because he worked for the German government in the 1930s and 40s. And he says, yeah, but I mean, I don't control. That was his response. I don't control who's running the government. Okay, I just had a job. It was, you know, I still continued my studies before, during, and after various governments in power in the country. It's like now, like you might say, well, you working for the government. I don't like the president. He's bad. Okay, yeah, but I was working when the other guy was president. It was my career. You know, I'm detached from that. I'm just, you know, you understand. So, but he was very smart. Yeah, it's smoky. I mean, it's not profoundly smoky, but it's pretty dang smoky. So over here they're both, well, this one's lighter medium body. This one's heavier medium body. That makes sense because this one's 50% alcohol and this one's 40%. But it's mild smoke, pale, if you want to say pale barley malt. Now, all these other factors that they bring up in the website on johnnywalker.com, all these fancy descriptors, like I just said, I cannot get that. I don't get that. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm saying I don't perceive it. They're very nice. What I recommend Johnny Walker, it's a younger, rougher cut, they say on the website, they say that, than the regular Johnny Walker Black. Yeah, I would highly recommend it. And Is it better than Johnny Walker Black or worse than Johnny Walker Black or even with it? I really cannot tell you because I've never, I am honest here, I have never tried Johnny Walker Black in my life. Now, is the Prohibition Edition better than Cutty Sark? I wouldn't say that. I would say it's different. It's a different experience. It's a different expression. Cutty Sark has its role, which is mostly in cocktails, although you can drink it neat and pull out some really fascinating flavors. But this is sort of like a more expansive Cutty Sark. You understand? It's more, it's like, well, there's the regular $19.99 bottle of Cutty Sark, which is very enjoyable and very popular, one of the big ones around the world. But this one is taking it to a different level and giving it more excitement, like the Budweiser Supreme, which I've never seen, so I keep hearing about it. A more developed Budweiser beer. It ain't doing me any good because I can't get it yet. Might show up today. Doubt it. And we did that. We experienced that with Budweiser before the scamdemic when they were doing collaborations. They had the Jim Beam Budweiser. They had the Freedom Prohibition Repeal Budweiser. There are all these different ones. I've got them all around here in my collection. They were all interesting, and they were all a more developed. I can't say they were better than Budweiser. They were just different, a more developed experience, which some people like to try, and other people have no interest in trying. You got people that love Cutty Sark, and they're not gonna. You say, well, try this different expression. Oh, no, nah, they're not gonna do it. Now, in our minds, like the beer review people, whiskey review people, and the viewers too, because y'all are watching these things because you probably the same mindset. We're saying, but why wouldn't you do that? You know, why would you want to just be in this box, this comfort zone, and never try different things? And we can't relate to it. Like, it doesn't make sense to us, but in their mind, it does make sense. They can't relate to us. Like, why you got to always be jumping around, trying all these different things? See, that's their thinking. It's just a different outlook. Arvin says, can you differentiate between smoke in whiskey if it's because of peated malt or is there because of toasted barrel cask? Yeah, in bourbon, it'll be the charred oak because they don't use peated malt, although they could. There is one from Brooklyn, New York that does that, which is kind of you say, well, that's gimmicky. Well, it is, but it's interesting. But this is the roasted barley. The barley is, when they roast the barley, you know, make it cooked, what you want to call it, cooked. They use peated malt, peat fires, and the smoke gets all into the malt. If you want to call that smoke damage, I guess you could say that, but they call it smoke advantage. By the way, today my vote is for JW Double Black. Johnny Walker. Now, Coverfire 32 says Johnny Walker Black is my favorite Scotch, and I've never had it. Can you believe it? Never tried the Double Black. It's an interesting one. I can't comment to the black though because I never had. Johnny Walker Black is the gold standard of Scotch whiskey in my view. Says Arvin, very well made product. Greetings from Arizona. Says Angelo Zaccarelli. Greetings to you, and he's got cacti there. I've been to Arizona and I really liked it. All right, been there more than once too. Okay, this is the Cutty Sark. Got it right. I would be 100% accurate right now if I wouldn't have been a fool with the Johnny Walker Blue label. But, you know, what you going to do about overconfidence? You could say, I'm never going to be overconfident again. And I'm so confident in that. I'm so confident that I'm never going to be overconfident again. Well, you see what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, this Double Black is a really nice smoky product. Now, which one do I prefer? Well, I told you I like the smoky things better. I like them better, so that means I would prefer it. But on the other hand, taking price into account, $29.99 versus $44.99. about what you're going to pay. 30 versus 45, basically. Is it $15 better? Is the Johnny Walker Black Label really $15 better per bottle? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's $1 better. It's different. It's different. But better? Oh no, I can't agree with that. So would I recommend the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition? You got to get it. If you like whiskey, trying different whiskeys from around the world, Japan, Ireland, Scotland, Canada, United States, got to get it. You just got to get it. It's one of those must-haves, can't miss. You say, well, what about Highland Mist? Yeah, well, you could skip that because it's just so basic. Not bad. And I see it everywhere I go. You know, all around, everybody got Highland Mist. Well, most everybody. Is it a must try? Nah. I mean, you know, if you want to try it, it's fine. It's been around since 1956. It's kind of like Sir Malcolm. Walmart got it. Mathern's has it. When Dixie has it, Total Wine and More has it. It's on the shelf. It's not too expensive. In fact, it's not the cheapest thing they got, but it's kind of, you know, cheap. It's funny that Total Wine had on the top shelf. I said, what are y'all trying to trick me? Because Sir Malcolm is usually a bottom shelf whiskey, is at the very bottom, because if they kick it over and it breaks, they had lost much. They're not going to put, you know, Johnny Walker Blue Label on the bottom so it could get broken. They can put it at the top where they can keep an eye on it, doesn't get snatched or whatever, but or broken. But I said, look at Total Wine, got Sir Malcolm of all things on the top shelf. I like Sir Malcolm. I'm not saying, oh no, Sir Malcolm, oh, it's so nasty, it's so gross. It isn't nasty and it isn't gross. It's bready, it's mild. But then on the other hand, it's kind of bland and basic. So that's what I'm saying. It's not a must try. If you say, oh, I never tried Sir Malcolm, where can I find it? I would say, don't worry about it. If you run across it, get it. But if you can't find it, don't sweat it. Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition. Yeah, you do want to stress over that a little bit. You really do want to find it. You really do want to find it. It's like Famous Grouse. I've never tried Famous Grouse. I don't know what it tastes like, but I know it's one of the most famous, haha. But that's true. It really is. Scotch whiskeys in the world. If I'm going to do Scotch whiskey, do I need to buy? Obviously so. Yeah. Great. So, Johnny Walker Double Black, mighty fine. You can easily tell it apart from the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition, but it's really not better. It's $15 more per bottle, but it's no better. So, you might want to consider that. And we talked about price, and people said, yes, please mention price. Continue to do that. We know it doesn't affect your score, which it doesn't. And we know that a lot of people with this bad economy here and in England, for instance, they can't really be out there spending money left and right like they're crazy. You know, they got to watch their budget, and you should watch your budget, but, you know, they really need to. So these days with these outrageous government induced price hikes, because they caused it, but a lot of people say, you know, to heck with you, I gotta watch my money. You know, I'm not over here like maybe you got this big job and making three figures, and I'm over here struggling. I want to hear him talk about what he paid, so I can go find it for that. So I'm going to continue. Last I checked my poll, 94% said, yeah, keep talking about price. They didn't say obsess about it, and I don't, but they said keep talking about it. It's an interesting reference point, which I agree with that. Okay, last comments. Arvin said, I am definitely going to get Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition because of your recommendation. Never tried that. Smiley face. Oh, yeah. Get it. And now, I'm not saying you're going to find a great deal like I did, finding a liter bottle. This is you notice that the bottle seemed kind of big. It's a liter bottle. And I got it for $27. Is that not crazy? And then I got all worked up yesterday about this. I was really getting like in a frenzy over it in some ways, because I'm a child like that. In some ways, I'm childlike. This old Fitzgerald. It's not the one that's $80 a bottle with the the crystal bottle and all, with the glass stopper at the top. It's not that. That's expensive, and I hear it's really good. No, it's called Old Fitzgerald something bourbon, not premium bourbon, like Old Fitzgerald. I don't know. I saw it. It was $19.99, and I think it's a liter bottle. I'm not joking. Because Elio's Wine Warehouse has the regular squat bottle, $7.50 for over $20, like $20.49. Here's this other store. Got, I think it's a liter because it's a different shaped bottle. A liter. I got to check that out. But it's got me drove. You know, people say you got me drove. Yeah, that Old Fitzgerald got me drove. Thanks for the recommendation. You're welcome. I also voted yes. Oh, thank you. Well, y'all take care now and have a great Tuesday.